Growth is going to be exploding in this region over the next 25 years. There's going to be 2 million more people in the 10-county Nimtik region and 4 million people in the tri-state area.
Our quality of life is determined by our open space and the way our people can move around and live.
Nimtik is a place where the leaders of the region come together and work on a shared vision.
If we don't make these investments for the future, New York as we know it will not continue to exist.
We're a transportation planning agency, but we realize you can't plan transportation in a vacuum. You have to plan transportation with some desired state in mind. How do you want this region to grow? And for the first time ever in New York history, elected officials have come together and have agreed on a regional vision for the New York area.
The express train Penn Station outboarding track 5, Penn Station halting track 5.
We have an opportunity to invest in that vision and create change that will last for our children's lifetimes and our grandchildren's lifetimes.
The issues facing New York City do not begin or end at our borders. We have to look at the solutions and problems of the city in a regional context. All of the issues that are critical to the city are also critical to the region. Housing, energy, and of course, transportation.
This is the last call. Boarding now on track 19.
The city is the economic engine for this entire region, and as healthy as the city is as healthy as we are. So unless we really get together and determine how the engine is going to work together with the region, we're not going to be able to get things done in an appropriate way.
Everything that we talk about, land use, what have you, has a transportation component. So we need to seek within one voice, all of us representing the majority of New York State, on what we think we need in terms of transportation priorities.
We must look at future growth and welcome it, but channel it to those areas that already have a transportation infrastructure, or by consolidating growth in certain areas, one can justify the investment in new transportation.
The principals of Nimtik have come together and have identified a set of 10 desired growth areas where we will be promoting sustainable regional growth. We will be talking about development opportunities and linking it to a set of strategic transportation investments.
We have an extraordinary set of projects for this region, which I think are the envy of any metropolitan region in the world. These projects include the 2nd Avenue subway, the East Side Access Project to bring the Long Island Railroad into Grand Central, but will also create additional capacity in Penn Station. In addition to those projects, the extension of the number 7 line to the far west side, critical for the development of the far west side. We're highly supportive of the access to the region's core. These projects should enable New York to be competitive in the global economy for the next century.
New Jersey Transit is forecasting a 100% increase in commuter ridership over the next 25 or 30 years. You can't get any more people into New Jersey Transit trains today if we don't have an access to the region's core tunnel. The amount of cars that will continue to clog our streets will just grow.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 5 express train.
Transit is the lifeblood of this city, and when it works, the city is healthy, and when it doesn't work, the city gets clogged. You've got 7.6 million transit riders each day, and you've got 3 million people on buses. The select bus service program that we've got going on Fordham Road, we've been able to increase the amount of passengers that we've got on there by some 3,000 passengers and decrease the time that it takes them to ride on those routes by some 20%. So we're doing everything we can to make all of our transportation networks work. And that means investing in our bike network, where we've expanded it dramatically over the last 2 years.
Suffolk County went from this tiny agricultural community into the largest suburban county in the state of New York. We now have 1.5 million people, and there hasn't been the infrastructure plans put in place that are commensurate with this growth in population. We call it the Sag to Coast Retail Corridor because it all congregates right around the spine of the Sag to Coast Parkway. We're seeing that all the residential communities around this area are being saturated with traffic. They cannot move. It's total gridlock. If we're going to allow this particular huge development to take place, do we have the infrastructure to deal with it? That's what we're trying to change as we move forward.
We need a new paradigm of new suburbia. And new suburbia relies on the idea that while 80% of our county should remain the same as it is now, there need to be places that we need to focus on economic growth and investment, which are tied into transportation, mass transportation. The Nassau County hub is one of the most important places in the county, but you can't take the Long Island Railroad to many of the most important destinations within the Nassau County hub. So what we want to do is create a hub that is connected to the Long Island Railroad.
The real problem for all of us is congestion, even on the thruway. The bridge itself, of course, is a congestion holdup. We've never seen it as a bridge project. The mass transportation components and the ability to move people out of their cars and into some sort of mass transportation is so key. And it really is for the region, beyond the NIMTEC region. It's beyond us. This is a critical point in the history of our counties.
We've been doing this for 4 years now. It's required a lot of leadership from NIMTEC and the members of NIMTEC. And it requires sacrifice from each one of us, who have to give a little of what we would desire in order to look at the greater good of the entire area.
We've always had this wonderful connection, Westchester and Rockland. It's the river, and the Hudson River has provided throughout history the transportation alternatives. And it once again will do that in terms of the east-west connection in particular, which really our two counties are linked to.
Putnam County has identified Brewster Village as their desired growth area. Of critical importance to Putnam County is the expansion of the Southeast Transit Station.
Now that we have consensus in terms of what the region must do, now that we have a political leadership that recognizes that consensus, and now that we have a sense of urgency that we must build, we're challenged by the fiscal resources that are simply not available.
I'm extremely excited to be co-chair at this particular moment in time, because the leadership of the city, of the state, of the region, and the federal government will come together, and the power of our working together to provide a constituency that demands new investment in transit infrastructure changes the entire picture.
Well, we started about 5 years ago getting the principals more involved to just talk about what they saw as being the long-term future for growth, improvement of the environment, and improvement of our quality of life in this region. And we developed a vision now, I believe, that we all believe in.
Transportation is part of a healthy economy, and we need to keep investing into the transportation system if we are going to make our economy healthy again.
It's more important than ever to be investing in our infrastructure programs to lay down a strong foundation for this city to continue to grow, for this region to continue to grow when the economy rebounds.
There are clearly several challenges that are there in terms of meeting this need. First and foremost is financial. It is critical that we get the resources from Washington, the resources from Albany, the resources from the cities and the counties to be able to finance the system.
To achieve the NIMTIC vision for transportation over the next 20 years, we're going to need to invest something like $50 billion. Right now, we know where we can find about $5 billion. That means we have a significant shortfall facing us. We're going to have to work hard to overcome that shortfall, but it's going to be worth it.